Hi there, how's your week? It's Thursday and it's almost Friday, thank God. Busy as usual. Today's much cooler, and when I go out, I might end up wearing a coat. Who thought that that would be possible after 38 degrees yesterday? Um, in this current week, I've had interesting conversations about broken systems and how, for those navigating such systems, they can enact forms of harm, or make their journey a whole lot more complicated than it needs to be, sometimes by slotting them in the category of being a complex case, when in fact the situations they're facing are really common. And so such individuals can be pushed from pillar to post. Um, the issue may be psychologized and not seen as a material need, or seen as being the work of another jurisdiction, which kind of means that they get referred elsewhere, but nothing sort of gets handled or resolved. Also, when people are referred, if they're sitting at the intersections, for example, being Aboriginal and gay, assumptions can be made about which services they should be referred to, rather than actually consulting with the individual about their preferences and their needs. So the complexity is actually generated by those encounters through institutional and social services, health services, sectoral sites. So the conversation was really interesting to me because it also showed me that there's a need for the creation of spaces that can hold space for such individuals who are pushed from pillar to post. And for me, that's particularly pertinent for sister girls, both on and off homelands. It will be something that hopefully I'll be able to work on and around with members of the community to get a real sense of what their priorities are, what their experiences have been, what they make of those experiences, because I know a fair amount about some of those experiences, having been there an accompaniment in navigating some of those systems: court, police, health, housing, social services, etc., legal advice. But I don't think that's very well captured in research, and research that has an action focus, or in even provider spaces for people who need support. So this would also require people with trauma-informed training and creative expertise as well, Indigenous-led kinds of methods, Indigenous-informed methods. So that's kind of where some of my conversations and my thinking is going at the moment. Obviously running alongside principles of healing justice as well. So you've probably heard this term before. I'm not sure if you've heard of a book that looks at the lineages of this black and queer, people of colour, LGBTQI genesis of healing justice analysis and response. There's a very good book that's a good starter for that, and it's by Kyra Page and another author. But anyway, I can link us in the comments section. And if you've done work of this nature yourself, community-based action research, or planning to apply for grants for creating spaces, support services and so on where they don't exist, let me know. There's actually an outfit that was created by two sister girlfriends of mine that could be kind of reinvigorated in some ways. That's called Sister Girls and Brother Boys of NT Network. And there's an International Trans Fund, which if we're able to sort of bring some of these things together in conversation and work out what we potentially could do, both in, in terms of reinvigorating that network and solidifying its empirical research base, to make certain arguments for resourcing, but also to assist in the organisational fundaments and material basis of getting people involved actively within the network, running events and so on. That would be formidable. I want to be able to do stuff that links my lived experience, knowledge, community knowledge and research passions together, because I see too many lives affected by broken systems, actually, and that's for a much longer video.